Morning, Miles, man. We're back on the New Mexico Radio Talk Show.com. We got the beautiful Gigi La Chicana Guerrero from Giras de Desvelada podcast. And we got Trisha Victoria, got a new member on board, man. Bienvenidos a todos, man. We got Roxy Mendoza, one of our very own that's on Wednesdays with us this evening. She's in the chat room this evening. We got everybody in the house tonight, man. Bienvenidos. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. Hopefully you guys can hear me out there. Can y'all hear me out there? Can you hear me very clearly, right? Man, I'm glad to be back with you guys, man. Glad to be back, man. Man, what an awesome weekend it was, man. I know everybody's feeling a little bit ill, man. We had La Jolla just put in the little group chat a little while ago. She's feeling a little bit ill. Um, Prayers going out to her as well. We have Gigi feeling still underneath the weather as well, and she's here, man. And we thank her because it's not easy doing a show when you're ill, because I've actually done a show being, with fever, with heartburn, with diarrhea, y todo pedo, man. It sucks, man. It sucks, man. I don't know. Have you felt one of those, Gigi? Have you done one of those before?
The truth is, like I told you, I think I'm still recovering from fanfare. I mean, there was so much going on, and I performed at 4 stages, and it was hot. And I said, either I got heat stroke or I got I don't know what it was, but I'm still for real. But it was awesome out there. I saw La Jolla, I saw Mel, I saw a lot of the New Mexico radio co-hosts out there, and that was just really awesome. It was a fun time, but it did take its toll. I think it did. I'm still trying to recover, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is, man, I know, this weather can be hectic, man. I mean, it can go from summer to winter to spring to, in a drastic change, right? And, you don't think about it. Exactly. And then you're in your house, all day long, and then you go outside. You go outside without your coat, and your body's so used to being inside, and then you don't think about it, right? You don't think about taking your coat, and then you're like, God, I'm hoodies, and then you're like, damn, my coat. So by the time you put your coat on, you get sick.
Yeah.
You're like, nobody should have put your coat on. But nobody.
Well, here in Texas, we have the problem of like it'll be cold when you get out in the morning, and by the afternoon you need to change your wardrobe because you're melting, and then the sun comes down again, and you got to find your coat and all your winter clothing again. It's totally bipolar weather.
It's a different kind of heat. It's a different kind of cold because I'm originally from New Mexico. So, but I live here in San Antonio. So when I have people that come visit, they're like freezing, or it's real huge. It's just it's neat to see them react to the weather here because it's like nothing for me. It's not.
Exactly.
I don't feel the
Exactly.
humidity. I don't feel any of that. But they come over here and they're like, I'm like, don't put lotion on after the shower. Because you're just gonna go outside and sweat. It's like you don't need lotion here. But in New Mexico, it's just a different kind of it's just a dry heat. I love it. It's confusing, but yeah, New Mexico is it's different.
No. The thing is like, man, and like I said, this weather can be a drastic, man, because your body gets so used to the winter, and some people like the winter, some people like the summer, and some people don't drink enough fluids. And I'm trying to drink, being
What?
healthy. I mean, look at me. I'm trying to drink healthy. Zero, Powerade, zero sugar.
She's
But
hydrating as well.
I
There's
mean,
water.
I mean,
There's
the thing
water.
is, ladies, is nobody takes in consideration, right? Is everybody needs a healthy body, right, for themselves, right? And you take this in consideration for your health, right? And when you go to these cities with different climates, you go into these cities and you're supposed to drink enough water or enough electrolytes before performance, and then you go out there and then you're like, God, la modis.
So Gigi, what do you do? Do you sing or what is it?
It's like,
Tell me what you did. What is fanfare? Is that rated PG-13?
that's the Tejano Music Awards fanfare, where it's kind of like where all the Tejano musicians perform and on stages, and there's different stages. There were stages at the Hemisphere, there was stages at the Marketplace, and you can perform indoors, there's performances outdoors, and basically that's where you want to watch any Tejano artists. They're all out there. Yeah.
So
And, well, the thing is, okay, I have your question. I have a podcast. I do have Giras y Desveladas. I'm the founder and president of the Tejana Music Legacy Foundation. I am a music publisher with Jugrimar Music. My dad is Juan Guerrero, who wrote the song "Ya Te Vi, Ya Te Vi, Ya Te Vi," that one. And then I'm also I'm in the class of 2021, the Tejana Roots Hall of Fame inductee, because I performed with my dad for over 30 years with Los Chicanos. So now I'm newly this year a solo artist, and I didn't plan on that one, but the producer said, let's do it. And so, está bueno, and here I am.
That's awesome. So you kind of just got thrown in there. You didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice. And I know that's what my dad would have wanted me to do. So I'm honoring his legacy by doing that.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And what do you do, Trisha? I'm sorry.
What's that?
And you, Trisha, I'm not really.
Oh my gosh, I am all over the place. Primarily, I'm a realtor here. Well, I started real estate in New Mexico. Like I said, I just recently moved here in about 3 years ago, and so I'm in the real estate business, but I also do Botox and lip filler as well. So in the beauty industry, it's kind of, I just recently, when I was in New Mexico, I did a lot of photography. And I ran into a photographer at a photo shoot because I had some headshots done. And I mean, we really hit it off, and it triggered my passion that I forgot was there for photography. So we just linked up today. Tomorrow we'll be entering into, like, I think I'm going to go a lot into the media part. I'm just going to pick it up. It's hard because I'm good at a little bit of everything, and I think I just love the people part. You know, the networking, the beauty industry is like just making people beautiful, and the women and connecting, and real estate, just finding the homes. And now, like, it kind of all just ties in together.
Oh,
it's
wow.
all a hustle. It's never a steady flow of money. So it's good to just have a little bit of everything. And then, you know, listening to, there's just so much. There's so much that goes through my mind. I have to narrow it down and try to stay focused because, you know, it's just me and my daughter here in San Antonio. So I am on that school schedule, you know, so I have to kind of balance that out, take it easy. But girl, in 2 years when she graduates and I'm not on that school schedule, I don't even know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be all over the place.
The thing is, as long as you've got a plan, it'll be fine.
Yeah. And 2 years goes by fast. 24
they do.
Give a big shout out to our number one follower, number one listener, Mr. David Vela, taking a film break. Hello, Hen Dog, Gigi, La Chicana Guerrero, and Trisha Victoria. This guy is a big follower, man. David Vela. He used to be a wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders back in the day, pro NFL football player way back in the 80s, 90s, somewhere era. Mr. David Vela, a big fan of ours, man. Big follower, man, out there. We got a special guest, man. This girl is talented, man. She's got a lot of things to talk about. She's now in the film. She's going to be in a big movie, and I believe they're going to be coming down to New Mexico, making a way down yonder. And I know the crew that's putting it on, and I know I'm going to be in a couple of scenes as well with the podcast, and be able to put the logo and stuff like that with the podcast and put it in a couple of the scenes. So hopefully you'll be able to see some of that in some of the movie también too, King of the South, and some of the casting crew out there. So we're gonna welcome in a good friend of ours, Sarah Lucy. She's out there, San Antonio, Texas. We're gonna get to hear her story. What's going on, Sarah?
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, how are y'all?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, you're doing all right in San Antonio. How's San Antonio treating you out there, Sarah?
Yes. So it was nice to get away from San Antonio today, but I love San Antonio, so I'm not talking bad about it. But got to escape today to San Marcos for a little bit of water. And if you ever come this way, that's one of the places I would like to show you. There's some beautiful water just like on the outskirts of San Antonio. But I live here in San Antonio and everything's fine over here. Everything's going good.
Wow, San Marcos, huh? That's a place to be, right? I mean, it's crazy because you hear about all these little, I wouldn't call them little towns. I mean, to me, they're little because people don't hear about them because everybody hears about San Antonio or Corpus Christi because that's the only town that they go to when they go to that area, right? Or Houston, right? But when you ask people, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from San Marcos, or I'm from RGV. Well, where's that at?
I had to learn that one
because they don't go that route, right? Or they don't go to those cities, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself, Sarah.
Acting has been new to me, but I've been in quite a few films since last year. The biggest one that we're super excited for is King of the South. It'll be a TV series. It'll be premiering, the first episode of it will be premiering in June, and looking forward to see how everything goes on that. There's a lot of Tejano stars in that, Little Joe. There's, it's just going to be putting a lot of
I think we lost that connection.
Oh, Sarah.
I think the aliens got a hold of her.
I knew it.
They intercepted.
Well, I want to say what she was talking about while she tries to get back on. I actually, one time, I'll never forget, it was when my daughter was little, maybe about 3 or 4 years old. We went to this area, off the beaten path of San Marcos. I don't recall where we were, but it was this little off beaten path we went into, and we drove in, and you saw at the river, but it was like you could step in it. It was just ankle high. And what we did is we put our lawn chairs on there and just waded our feet in the water, and it was so fresh. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. So I know what she's talking about. There's these little, off the beaten pathways that you
Little
can
streams.
find. Yes.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's kind of like, have you ever been to Sitting Bull Falls in New Mexico?
I've never been there.
Okay, that's beautiful. That is definitely a go-to place if you're in the Carlsbad area. Hello again.
Hi. Yeah. So that's you were talking about having a child. That's my daughter that just got me kicked off. She's trying to call, and I don't know, technical difficulties.
That's my middle name.
I have 3 teenage daughters, and so I'm right there with you. They're about to be 17, 18, 19. So we have a 17 and 18-year-old that are in school right now. 2 more years.
You'll miss the times.
I know. I miss them being smaller. And extra. Once they're teenagers, they don't want to hang out with you anymore.
I know. Isn't that sad? That's when you're like, ready, I'm really gonna hang out with you now.
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
So hopefully she doesn't call again, because I don't know.
I had a question for you. That film series that you're working on, is that the one that guy Dez is on?
So a lot of Shelly Lattes artists are all doing the soundtrack. It's featuring so many. I'm not the person that knows there.
Kid.
Is it
teenage?
Oh my God. Okay. Can you hear me?
Well, you're sideways.
I should have sent out like a message and said, leave me alone.
They don't.
I mean, can she be on airplane mode? Wouldn't that work or no? Airplane mode?
I have no idea.
I don't think so, because it cuts off the Wi-Fi. But it's like when you're on the phone and they don't want nothing to do with you until you get on the phone. They're like,
Yeah,
Mama,
until you're
Mama.
busy. It's kind of
Right?
like when you had to go to the bathroom when they were little, and then all of a sudden they're like right there putting their fingers under the door. Yeah.
Sarah, we see you sideways.
Your camera
Sideways?
is-
We got to look at you upside down.
Are you kidding me? Am I
You're-
still
you're-
sideways?
As in you're horizontal, not vertical.
That's how chill she is. She just got back from the river. Like, let her chill. Oh, there
Now
you
you're upside down.
Oh, you're almost there. Another one. Another one.
One more.
Okay, hold on.
You got this.
Do I though?
Perfect.
There you go.
Really?
There you go.
I'm afraid to touch.
You're good right there.
Okay.
You're perfect.
I'm not even gonna touch it anymore.
So you were telling us, Gigi
Yeah.
was asking if
Yes,
it was that
so-
Des was in there or some guy named Des.
Yes, and Rev Ray, and we have a lot of other artists. We have David Bella
Oh yeah.
is in the series. Yeah, I heard y'all
Yes,
say
he
he tunes,
tunes in
there.
a lot. Yes, and he actually comes out in The Chosen as well. He comes out in a lot of series. Yeah.
Yes. So, but besides acting, I do a lot of community work. Since the beginning of the pandemic, I started a group where everybody could find groceries, and that group has grown on Facebook to like 133,000 people.
What's the
Did
name
meal
of the
drives,
book?
Street News. Street News. And then the nonprofit that I'll be creating finally is called Street Peace, and I have a thrift store that goes along with that. But since the pandemic, I've been doing meal drives, food drives, help the homeless, blanket. I have an annual blanket jacket
Wow.
drive. The past 3 years, I've done toys and turkeys. One of my biggest partners is Texas Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. Here in San Antonio, they have a database of over 800 grandparents raising
wow.
grandchildren. And so, yeah, that's been somebody that, started feeding since the beginning with partners, and I've kind of taken them on to like stay helping the families in whatever way that I
That's
can.
amazing. I didn't even know that there was a group. I mean, the Texas Grandparents Raising Texas Grandchildren. How do you? I had no idea. I worked in Edgewood School District for a while, and I did notice that probably 8 out of 10 kids were being raised by their grandparents.
Yes, and the more that I like talk to people, it's so common, and a lot of them don't even know about
No.
the nonprofit. And yeah,
So
and the nonprofit, she doesn't have like a whole lot of funding to help them with the rest of the things. What she specializes in is teaching, because Mercedes Bristol is the creator president of that nonprofit, and she's a grandparent raising grandchildren. And so what she does is she helps them fight for their rights, or teaches them how to get rights. But that's what she specializes in. So there's not so much funding when it comes to like helping them with other stuff.
Right.
So yeah, it's big. There's a lot of children being raised by their grandparents.
there really is. I'm going to say that my mom has actually been raising my sister's kids since they were 1 and 7, like from jump. And she's back in Carlsbad, New Mexico. I actually left right before the pandemic. My brother and I were living here comfortably in San Antonio, and we ended up moving back like literally months before the pandemic. And we were not happy about it. We were really upset. We didn't want to leave San Antonio to go back to Carlsbad, but we did what we had to do. And, it's like, you don't understand why you're going through something at the time until looking back looking back on it, it's like, it makes sense. During that time, like I would have never wanted to be over here while the pandemic hit. And we were all together, all of us, the family, the kids, we were all there together, safe and helping each other get through it. So, but that grandparent, that's something maybe to look into through into New Mexico, Henry, because I've never heard of any, even support groups. These grandparents their lives are spinning. They don't know, they don't know, and then they're trying to overcompensate. Like these the grandkids from experience they're just spoiled, and these grandparents are trying to overcompensate because their parents aren't in the picture and they don't know what to do. And it's hard to divide being a grandparent or a parent. Like they can't be a grandparent anymore. They're the parent.
Yeah.
So,
there's such an age gap, and I feel like it's our responsibility, like those of us that, our elders shouldn't be the ones, but they are. So what can we do to help make it easier? Because a lot of them, like I'll stay on the phone with them, and they don't have the support.
They need
A lot of
they don't have nobody to talk to. They're older, like
or they don't even have anybody to talk to. Yeah. And there's with the younger generation, it's hard enough for us to understand them, like let alone the grandparents. And then they've already done their time, like they've worked hard. A lot of them have injuries and illnesses too, and they're still doing it. So it is our responsibility. And I feel that way about everything though. Like we need to activate more of our people to take responsibility and lead the way. And I think that so many people will be the next leaders, and I don't want to be doing all the work. And so that's why I try to say, like, for us to just activate our neighbors, like reach out to your friends, your family. Everybody is family to me. Everybody's my brothers, everybody's my sisters, and I'm the project service coordinator for Rotary South. So we do highway cleanup. We do a lot of other service projects. We just built beds for kids. There's also a nonprofit here in San Antonio, but there's chapters all over the country called Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And they build beds for kids that are sleeping on the floor. And in San Antonio, they came and did their presentation, and I think they said that like 3% of kids in San Antonio are sleeping on the floor, and that's like 78,000 kids are sleeping on the floor. So they get volunteers, new bedding, and I went over there with our Rotary and we built beds, but there's so many different things to get active in. Another one I'm really passionate about is we have to get back to the land and start growing our own food. We have to teach people how, that their food doesn't just come to the grocery store. Since, I started my group helping people find groceries, but I saw so much of the panic of people just freaking out because they're just used to going down to the store. Never did they ever think that they were going to be without food for their families, and that's a different level of freak out, and I don't want us to be in that level of freak out ever again. So one of the other groups I'm on the executive team for Tamactolome Food Forest, and it's on the south side of San Antonio. So for about over 3 years now, we've been growing food there, and that'll be free food for the community. I do a lot of other things. I sit on different boards, different nonprofits, and then I'll be starting my nonprofit and my thrift store. So I've been taking donations, and that way with my thrift store, I can help families in need too. So and then the acting thing too. So I don't know. I was never planning on doing that. But like how you said, Gigi, like how they said, well, why don't you record a song? And he's like, well, okay, like, I guess.
What are you gonna do? Just do it.
Yeah. And then also since last year I've been doing like little modeling things too. And I'm like, okay, this isn't my realm, but whatever it takes to get y'all activated to like come help community. Right. So I look at it as just another avenue to like touch people, so that way we can get more people involved in community.
That is so inspirational. And I know there's most people, you want to help and you don't know where to start. You feel you have a passion for something or something close to your heart, like you say, or like Trisha says, oh my goodness, I know about the grandparents, taking care of the grandkids, and you're a great, I would guess, starting point and say, well, let's look what Sarah's doing and where she's helping out. Yeah. And that way Yeah, very resourceful.
You know what? But we all can be, and we all have our own network, and you know, we don't have to go far, like, and that's the beauty of it. Like, when I went down my street, like, I had the news come out and follow me, like, when I went down my street when I first started the group. And it's like some neighbors had needed toilet paper, and then the other neighbors had toilet paper, and then this other one was like, Mija, I have this brisket, my husband went hunting, and or, you know, whatever, deer meat or whatever, and it was this big thing. I need to put regular food, so give this away, and I gave that to somebody, and they were so happy. You know, it's just everything we need is there. We just have to
Like
learn
a
how to
barter
ask and how to
system. Like a
connect
barter
with each
system.
other. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and a lot of people are just like they're wanting that. It just takes one person just to like reach out, and that's
Yeah.
it. It's simpler than we make it seem, but we have to learn how to trust each other again. So in the group, I've been able to create a community where people feel safe to talk to each other again and grow together. So I'm
And you're
happy.
right, you know, because of the pandemic, there was so much isolation, and kind of everybody just kind of drew within themselves. And like Trisha said, we all stayed together, and you stayed together within the family, but there was no outside communication beyond the family. And that's, for a lot of us, that's what it was. We stayed indoors. It was a scary time. And so, I mean, I love what you're doing, that it's a good chance to just be out there and help our fellow man, because
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's how we're going to like change things and make big impacts, you know, and we don't get out of our bubbles enough. And so, you know, I kind of liked that aspect of the pandemic, that people were having to drive to other sides of town, because it got them out of like their regular, like, just
routine.
homework, you know, like it got us out of our routine and made us see the priorities, and really think about the world in a different way. And really, we suffered trauma all together. So there's nothing more bonding than suffering
Yeah,
trauma together.
with that we all did.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I
Yeah.
mean, girl, I can even, I have my allergies are so bad when I go to New Mexico. Try holding in a sneeze. Like, I was like, I swear it's allergies. And they were like looking at me.
Oh, I know that look you got. Oh,
I swear.
Everybody's
I'm
like,
not
get away.
It's like, they would give you that look, like you just like pretty much killed me and my whole family.
exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, but
The scariest time to sneeze was that time.
no, I don't want to say that like the pandemic was a bittersweet. Like I said, if I hadn't been, I didn't understand it, but when it happened, and then just even a few months after that, my dad had a stroke, and he survived. But you know, imagining having to get up
Wow.
and go like on a whim, instead of moving comfortably the way we did by choice, not because we felt like forced to. Well, it was kind of like by forced to, because my mom was, her life was spinning. She didn't know what to do when it came, like, and I would ask her, Mom, did you have you talked to anybody? Because there's so many people that go through my little sister's on the streets, and she just, her kids aren't her problem. So that leaves us, the family, to raise them, right? But they don't, she was, my mom just retired. She was the mayor's executive secretary. And so she was pretty much running the city, trying to raise these kids. My dad's at Bandito at the time, for like the president of Bandito, for all these, like, I don't know, a lot of years. So two different, my mom's in church at 5 o'clock in the morning, prayer, and two different, sides of the spectrum, right? And anyways, my brother and I moved back. Her head was spinning, and she was just pounding all of this. She was just, it was all getting pounded inside of her. She was just, what's the word I'm looking for? When you keep it inside.
Like overwhelmed.
You keep it inside.
Like,
I know the word, but it was just building up, and it was making her sick. So, but she had no one to talk to. And And then working at Edgewood, I've seen a lot of grandparents thinking back, going through the same thing, raising their grandchildren. Their grandchildren are a handful. They're running all over them. The grandparents don't know it. They're just trying to make it day by day. And it's like these parents, these grandparents, they need to know that they're not alone, that this is normal, because some are embarrassed, you know, they don't want to talk about their kids being on the street. They don't want to talk about, you know, having to make excuses for their grandkids or whatever, because they love them. They want to be grandparents. But the reality is, like, they don't have that choice anymore. You're the mom, you're the dad. Like, you can either be a grandparent or a parent. Those are two different people. So, I mean, what you're doing is it's great. I think it needs to, do you reach out to school districts, or how do you network that?
Well, I've people from the group. So I ask where we can have donation stations for my blanket jacket drive. And so that's the big thing. Like I did Turkey the year before last December, but I did Turkey and then the toys. It's just crazy. Like, I've had different partners on some of the years. Some people stay on, but different business owners will have a donation station there. Brandy Lopez, she's one of the actresses in King of the South. She did a toy drive and she gave me some of the toy donations, and then I got an anonymous toy donation. Last year I ended up paying out of pocket, you know, like I just whatever, because we ended up having more. Like, I asked for 20 families, and some of these grandparents were raising like 6 to 10 grandkids. And it was like, I didn't want to leave any, you know, you think 20 families, you know, but you know, that's a lot of siblings. And it's just by the grace of God, like by the grace of God, because while everything has been going on with this, I've been going through my own like turmoil. So it's been, I don't even know how, but just God.
That's it. Yeah, that's, you don't know where, like I said, you don't know why, or why you, whatever you're going through, you might not understand it right now, but when you get through it, it's going to make sense. And it's probably, it's going to be for a reason. Like, what you go through, our hard times are never they're for nothing. They're
Yes, and a lot of them, their children are either incarcerated or addicted to drugs. And you know, like, I've had a lot of things happen to me. I've been out of the house since I was 16. And I've just had a lot of experiences. Like, my house is burned down while I was going through all of this. And I've been helping community, but I was in an abusive 18-year marriage. And so for the past 2.5 years, I've been out. And I started my first thrift store in that. And I ended up having to give it to him, and had my kids kind of taken away from me, got into car accidents, was going to physical therapy for 8 months. When I did my blanket jacket drive and all that, I was getting rides to go pick up boxes, to go pick up this. And I was like asking God, like, how am I supposed to be doing like all of this? Like, I'm like in peril still, you know, like, so it's just, it'll be more of a testimony, you know. And that's what I tell people. Like, I'm not rich getting these donations. This is, you know, I'm just, you know, believe in God so much. I'm going to go and try to look for the resources. But a lot of them, they see that and they have more respect for that than free money that's coming from the city or the county or whatever. Not saying anything bad about it, the government, you know, but there's a different level of, you know, gratitude, I think, when it comes from somebody who's in just the same spot as you. I'm like, I'm going through my own things, and, you know, I'll try to help if I can, you know, and I've had to say no, and that breaks my heart, but I need to fill my cup also. And I'm just hoping that I can get this thrift store going soon so I can start making money and start building my foundation. You know, like, I have a car with no air conditioning. I'm just like, by the grace of God, like, please, you know, everything will happen as it's meant to happen, you know. And I believe in
I'm
people.
glad that you're focusing on the self-sufficiency, because right now, although government funding is so iffy, anyway. It's great that you're kind of channeling that and opening up that avenue, because we don't know, you never know. And it's always
Yeah.
good to be resourceful like that.
And I want to teach us to be self-sufficient. Like, if God's showing me how to do this and how to, like, we can make things. And like on my group, there was the artists and the home crafters and all of that. And I really like had encouraged them to post. And so they were able to still make some money that way, because my messages from God are like, he's like, I give you everything you need, you know? It's just tapping in and believing in ourselves and like being resourceful with, God told me like, you could go sell that rock and you could go sell the flowers, like in,
And you just do it.
that's something that I want for us all to learn, how to be independent on our own and build our own foundations. Cause I too many times in my life have, being dependent on somebody else has led to a lot of the bad things that have happened, or being in a situation where you feel like you can't get out.
I used to think,
And
I didn't know what to think. My dad used to tell me, don't ever depend on a man. Always be able to depend on yourself. And well, he was right.
Sorry.
That's right.
And that's the best. Even for men to, it goes the other way. Even for men to depend on women, like, it's being
yeah,
independent.
that's true.
Because I mean, I don't have boys, but and you don't. Gigi, do you have any sons?
Just one daughter.
One daughter. See, we're girl moms. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all will all be in my prayers tonight.
Well, I'm blessed.
If you know. That's it.
I'm very blessed that my daughter is my hero, and everything I would have ever wanted to do perfect in my life. She is knocking on wood and thanking God right now.
That's
But
awesome.
I took a lot of sacrifice on my part. She's a child like that, and sure that she's
You're cutting out.
and at least I'm happy for that. I'll pat myself on the shoulder.
I'll pat myself.
I had something to do with that. At first I didn't, but then yeah, you know what? There was a lot of sacrifices on my part so that she could be guided where I saw her going, and that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
That's what we try to do.
Crazy.
Wow, Sarah, with all the stuff you got going on, you could almost write a book, or pretty much write a book with all the stuff you got going on.
She's not done with it yet. She's not done.
Yeah, one day soon. And I want to do the guidebook. I want to part of my nonprofit, I want to train leaders, but people-led leaders, and we have it. There are some in the city, but they're city paid, and I don't want that red tape. And I like being able to tell people no. I don't like helping anybody who's not ready to help themselves. And I'm not here to help people that aren't putting in the other part of the work. So I go and meet all the families, and I meet people in person. And a lot of the city and things like that, they don't get to know people on a deep level and a family level, and it loses its connection. So I want to be able to do it from a people standpoint. And so those will be some of the books. They'll be guidebooks, because in order to train good leaders, we have to learn how to heal. So we have to get more emotionally mature, if we want to solve any of our problems, like conflicts. It's pretty hard, getting to know a lot of these nonprofits, and even some of them, that they're supposed to stop conflicts on the streets, and then they're starting conflicts with other adults, So it's like, do you want a positive solution? Do you want a more peaceful community? Or do you want to act like a teen or a child, So we really need to have more books. I think in-person training is the best, but train people, like how to have more compassion.
Well,
and how to be
honestly,
mature.
like what I'm hearing is you're trying to redirect adults that are probably already set in their mindset, you know what I mean, in their ways. And a lot of this, I think, if you reach out to this, I feel like in junior high, our kids are at a crossroad. And either they're going to go
Yes.
really good or really bad. And we still have a chance, maybe our last chance to, because they're young adults and they're going through their hormonal and all, you know, we know what you know, we know they don't even
Yeah.
understand. They don't understand why they wake up and they just feel the way they do, right? But we can redirect them. I feel like if you maybe start to train their mindset at a young age and reach out to get in front of our kids, because I'm gonna tell you what, like sometimes I tell my daughter, like if I act too crazy, like tell me I act crazy, because I know she's watching me and I'll act crazy and she'll be like, Mom, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like let me calm it down. Let me be nice. Let me be like, so thank God that my youngest has that kind heart, because my oldest will be like right there with me. But so if I know, like what I'm saying, what I'm getting at is maybe the book that you're talking about. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a book reader at all. Fall
Yeah,
asleep.
I like
I
in
fall asleep
person.
the minute it takes me 3 days to watch a 30-minute show on Netflix. Like, it doesn't take me like 5 years to watch your movie, girl.
We'll make it a movie. We'll make
So, but
3-minute
if you
reels.
get in their face and you're tangible and you're telling them, hey, this is my experience, this is my testimony, you can reach these kids to start making that difference. So you're not walking the streets and they're not fighting and that's, I feel like that's where it needs to start primarily. It's changing their
Yeah.
mindset at a young teenage age.
And at the younger ages, they're just not being activated. They're so disconnected from nature. And I would like to take them out to the farms. I would, not that I know so much about the farms, but just in being around the garden people, because I'm not the gardener either. But I know it's important. And I just went out to a regenerative farm a couple weekends ago, and learned how they do it, like organically, everything with the from the
Wow.
animals to the plants and everything. And I think that that would just be, we need more hands on. Not all these kids are up for being in four walls either. We need more talk and training in the trades, like electric and plumbing, and all of that hasn't been, put up here where they feel like they can properly go into it without being
Mhm.
shamed. It's like, oh no, you have to go to college. And I don't believe that. I believe that there's a lot of kids that should be activated even
Yeah.
younger than they are in learning trades and how to work with their hands. They're bored. I wouldn't want to read books in school and learn algebra and physics. I hated it. I did graduate. I was really good at school. But I just went into the working field, like I got a 4-year scholarship to go to UT Austin. I graduated at 16 and I was going to take art because I wasn't interested in anything else. And I was like, this should be easy, right? I like art. But you don't need a degree for art. Some of the best artists that I know that are local artists and all that, they're just
Yeah.
self-taught.
But you're right about how
So,
I'm a certified teacher with a master's degree in special education.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Wow.
oh,
Thank you for putting up with our kids.
yeah.
And you can tell from the very beginning, you can tell there's the kids that really like the studying, that like the learning. And you can tell the kid right from, okay, I did pre-K, I did first grade, but I went 6 through 12. I taught all levels. And you can tell that the kids that are more academically inclined. And then there's the kids that like to work with their hands, the ones that like to solve things
Yeah.
right there and then.
Yeah.
It's so obvious. Maybe it's not to them, but me seeing all of them, you can tell. And I felt, they kind of require us to do everybody, needs to go to college. But no, some of them would be very, very happy and do very, very well being a plumber, being an electrician,
Yeah.
being a welder. And that's their
A
thing.
mechanic.
Yes, that's their
Yes.
jam. And that, why are we forcing everybody into this cookie cutter, life
Instead of college.
when it's not for everybody. It's not. So
Yep.
you're right.
So I think a lot of things need to change in how all the systems work.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm working on behind the scenes. You know, and in small ways, and hopefully that's ripple effects. And I know that there are some people that have been inspired from the group, and now they're doing it, or they've been doing it. And I just want to inspire. I just want to inspire people to help. You don't have to help me, just help somebody, you know?
But you know what? I feel like even maybe those grandkids that are being raised by the grandparents, they're seeing you and the job that you're doing, and you're inspiring them. And maybe they're like, I want to do that when I grow up and help kids that are in my situation. And so just being a
Yeah.
positive influence on them, I think is already a really good step forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was one of my, like, it always feels like I'm not doing enough
Exactly.
because I don't see like the fruits of it yet. And it's like, I had $20 in my bank account like a few weeks ago, and it's just like, wow, like it's been super hard. But like I think of things like that, and I'm like, no, this is
Yeah.
big, and you're doing a good job. And one of the grandparents, I helped her the year before. She came back this last year, and she has like 9-10 grandkids, and they came and they didn't need help this time. They wanted to get some of the jackets, and they went out on the streets and they passed them out to the homeless. And she's like, well, you said, and we're here for you. And ever since we helped them, they go feed people. And she said that her grandkids were like inspired by it. And like things like that is just like, I know that like I could be doing more if I had the resources. I've been able to do it without the resources, and then on very limited resources, but the impacts I think are going to be longer lasting because they're deeper relationships.
I
when
think
talk
there's
to
just like
them.
what maybe your networking needs to be a little bit more expansive, maybe, and find that those resources that will really bring in your vision of what you really want, and so you can expand. That's just a good thing that you're
Yeah.
doing.
So,
Thank
so
you.
again, like you said, that the way you network these nonprofits and everything that you do, the way you're networking it is just through Facebook.
Through my group, yeah. So I mean, I'll do lives, and I'll go out there, and I'm gonna be charging like minimal, like to go out there and do like lives on my
Mhm.
group, and help promote events and everything. And I have a platform, so everything I'm going to be promoting on there still is community, or small businesses, which is community, because we need our local
Yeah.
businesses to not just survive but to thrive.
Do
So
you?
yeah, I mean, I do networking. I do a lot of different
Well, if
networking.
you
It's
need any
just
help,
I haven't done
you got the New
the
Mexico
app.
Radio Talk Show, and um, we're here to help. And it's another resource. I don't know if Giras y Desveladas would like to be another resource.
Definitely.
I mean, we're
Yeah.
always
Me
like helping.
podcast is two podcast.
We're always like helping out. I
Awesome.
mean, because I mean, your story, Sarah, is it's always giving back to the community, and it's always helping others. Man, it's always giving back to the community, and it's always giving back and helping out others. Like this whole thing is always about helping others. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing too with the film. Like if it didn't have a purpose, and I like being involved with people that have a vision to create more. And it's really nice to see like Hispanics in film too, and just being a part of this whole thing, and seeing like the Necios. They're in the King of the South. I think there's 12 of them, and you'll get to see them when you see the film and everything. But they have been inspired through all of this, and watching the drives,
Exactly.
the blanket jacket drives, the toy drives. And so they want to adopt a family each from Texas grandparents raising grandchildren for this coming year, and so it's really, it is ripple effects, and it's all connected. And it's not just film. I feel like it's a movement, and I would like to see just how much farther it can go and expand and grow, because it only stands to help. Like, a lot of people I talk to don't even know about all the grandparents raising grandchildren that are in need of help. And there's people like you, Trish, that know, but it's like, who's doing
I didn't
something
know there
about
was
it?
even a
Well,
program for it. That's what I'm saying. Do you, I guess what I keep on
yeah.
going back to is like, do you reach out to the schools? Do you have flyers? I mean, because a lot of these people, they're not going to have
So
social media.
yeah, so those are all things in plans of like better ways to do it. But I need to finish getting the 501c3 on and finish creating my board and all of
And
that
it's a
right
process,
now. So that's
and it's a
one thing.
well,
Yeah.
you know, feel free to reach out, or I'll reach out to you. We can connect. I really want to say thank you. Like, you're not just helping. You think you're in the now moment, and you're not. So if you're helping and inspiring generations and generations to come. So these kids that came back to hand out jackets that needed a jacket last year, it doesn't stop there. This is going to go to their kids, to
No.
their kids. You know, you start traditions, they're going to talk about this to their kids on down as a life lesson, you know? So
Yeah.
it is
And then with
great.
the thrift store too, like I helped some of the grandparents, and then they see everything. And I just mentioned, like, as I touch them, I'm like, I have a thrift store. So if you ever need anything, but if you have anything, and they're like, yeah, the kids are always growing out of clothes, and I've gotten donations from them. And so that's one thing people look at. I mean, some of them, they look at people that are in poverty as like not being able to help themselves. But I think that everybody I've experienced, because I would say I'm in poverty, and those that are actually have more of a heart to help because they
You know
know
what
what
it
the
feels like.
struggle
Yeah.
is like.
I do have a question about that. Okay, so a lot of people, I don't know, I was watching a documentary or something, and it was talking about a lot of people that they can't get a job because they don't have a license. Well, they can't get a license because, you know, you have to have a license because you got to pay taxes, the W-2, all the forms that you fill out. But they can't get a license because they don't have an address. Is there a solution for that here in?
I have a friend that specializes in shelter, and so part of it, me, what I do, I work with other community leaders or other people that are starting their own nonprofits. Or like my friend that specializes in shelter, she's a single mom of 3, and so I've helped her. So that way she's about to start her nonprofit. But I mean, the city calls her for help, and she's, you know, been in helping for free, you know, like, so it's finally time for us to build our foundation. But yeah, there are solutions for all of that. And I'm really have really great friends that are very resourceful too, and they specialize in all the
You
different
know,
things too. So with our powers
yeah.
combined, that'll be the board of street
So
peace.
there are resources. Okay, I'm gonna have to reach out because these are questions that I know in Colorado they did some kind of they were like little one, but like just enough to put like a cot or like a bed in there, and they put an address on it. So these homeless people that were struggling with getting a driver's license had an address to connect.
Yes.
So they started working because a lot of them, if they can work, they would, but they get stuck, you know, and they get discouraged, and then they're down, and they're like, screw it. They just stick to what they've been doing. So that might be a little ray of hope if we can get that information out to the homeless. And
Yeah. Yes.
yeah, I
Yes.
mean that's I think that would be a lot of help because they hit that wall.
Food and shelter and cleaning up our streets, like as far as us going and cleaning. And then yeah, we need to break bread with each
That's
other
right.
more too. So
Right.
there's a lot of solutions, but food and shelter are 2 of the main ones that um
Girl,
I'm
it's
working
election. You see all
with
them election
people.
signs? Right now's the time.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Get with your councilman. Just say
Yeah.
like, hey, let's do a big promotion. They
Oh,
have the money for it. They have it set aside. Let's do a big promotion. Raise some money. The community needs to see your face out there for district, whatever. Hit them up because they have about 4 weeks to get their votes for whatever.
they're coming to our next we're having our I'm on the board for American GI Forum, and we're inviting a lot of them. I'm working on another project, and that's going to be for domestic violence. And with them, some of them are coming to that next
Nice.
meeting. All the officials. So yeah, I do. I sit in the rooms with all of them, but not everybody knows what I do. And I just figure it'll organically happen. But yes, pass the word along.
Oh, I'm like,
we need
hey,
we need
take
help.
advantage. Get them together. Tell them that, let them organize it. It doesn't have to be you. Tell them, this is what I do. I need you to promote this. We need money. We need fund. We need this is a great opportunity for you to get votes and be in the middle of all of these people. There's a lot. There's Fiesta kickoffs going on, right? We got. I don't
Yes.
know if y'all know anybody who sings. I'm not going to say any names, but no, you know what I mean.
I'll go sing. If you have a music festival, I'll go sing.
I mean, I can be the background dancer.
Yes, yes,
Background dancer.
So, yeah, it's exciting. Thank you. I had no idea. I have a ton of notes here. I had no idea. Very informative.
yes. It's I am so. Thank you again, Hen Dog, for doing this. I'm always
Yeah, that's
like, oh, it's Tuesday. I gotta do the co-hosting with you. And then I'm on the show and I meet new people, meet people like you, meet people like Trisha, and that are just so awesome and are just doing so many things. So inspiring, Sarah.
it really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Thanks.
Well, that's why it's called the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. We just got a bunch of great people, and we got such a great team, and we do great things, and we just stay humble, and we bring great people every week,
Yeah.
and that's just what we do best, and we support each other. That's just what we do.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
No, we just appreciate what
Thank
Sarah's
you.
doing, man. Sarah's doing a lot of things out there for the community, and you know, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, Sarah. I know you're busy, and I know you got a lot of things going on, and I know you're going to be in the movie King of the South. I'm looking forward to seeing you in that movie. I know you're going to be making a road trip down here to the New Mexico area. I believe it's going to be April. I think it's April. I'm looking at the calendar right now. That's what I was doing while you guys were. I'm listening in over here también too. So I'm taking some notes at the same time. So I know you guys are going to be down. I know some of the cast and crew are going to come or making a way down yonder. I know some of the crews coming down here towards the New Mexico area or towards Roswell. I think it's April the 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
That's Easter.
Yeah.
That's Easter weekend.
I think so. I think it's a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. If I am not mistaken.
You're right.
I think it's a Thursday. I'm looking. That way I'm making sure I'm getting the date right. That way I can put it out there for the fans. It's going to be Thursday, April the 17th, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the casting crew for King of the South are going to have Gabriel Carmona, and some of the casting crew are going to be making their way downtown to Roswell, New Mexico. They're going to be making their way down here to Roswell. They're going to be right here at the Encanto Event Center, ladies and gentlemen. So casting crew, man, the flyer will be out very, very soon, man. I'm working on that tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as well. I got a lot of things I got working on. I got a few things I got covered up that I got working on tonight. So that's going to be going on. Going to have King of the South crew down here. We're going to do some filming out here as well. You might see Hen Dog in the movie. So
Whoa.
what am I going to be doing in the movie? I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know yet. I don't know.
He doesn't want to give it up.
I'm gonna have to sign a contract. A la máquina. No, just kidding. I gotta see what the cast and crews got me doing. All right. So, I want to say thank you to Sarah, Lucy, for taking time out of her busy schedule. She came all the way from Santa Marcos when she was out there, you know, hanging out in Santa Marcos, Texas. You know, I guess that's where the spot is to be at. You know, if you go to Santa Marcos, Texas, I guess when I'm not in San Antonio, I got to make my way down yonder and go to San Marcos, Texas. All right.
Yes, they have glass bottom boats, and it's over the Edwards Aquifer water.
They light up, and you go in there at night. We did that. It's so cool. They take you for like a little tour.
And it's called,
Yeah.
What is it called?
The glass bottom boats in San Marcos tours. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. If your lights go out, you're like, it's pitch black, but it's super cool. You can see everything under. It's a nice tour. It's actually really, it's fun.
Yeah, they have it during the day.
Did the day? We did the night one. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. I think I'm gonna have to check that out when I go to San Marcos, Texas. No, I want to say thank you to Sarah Lucy out of San Antonio, Texas. Coming up on an hour showdown for you guys, man. Sarah, is there any last information out there you'd like to give to anybody out there where they can contact you for any information? For any accolades out there that people want to get a hold of you for any drives that they want to contact you at?
You can have my phone number. I mean, like, I don't care. Just send me a text message. If you have a donation to pick up, it's 210-415-7584. Or you can look me up, Sarah Lucy, on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Saint_Aras. So SAINT_ARAS, which is Sarah backwards. So yeah,
Creative.
So any of those.
Oh,
And then I can invite you into the group, which is Street News.
Street News. Okay. Got it. That was a lot. You have a lot going on. I will say that. I wouldn't know where to start or how to prioritize any of that. But if you need help, let me. I mean, or just anything. If you want to kick around some ideas, like reach out. Again, I'm in the. There's a thing that we do, like our realtors. If we do a and I can get you in touch with them or different brokerages. I stay in really good standing. I have a lot of good friends in the real estate game out here. And what they do when they're doing an open house sometimes is, I've yet to do this, but what they do to promote the open house, I know like 2 people that have done this, but this is something that we can do, is go door knocking and just say, hey, having an open house over here, but in the meantime, we're doing a spring cleaning or March Madness, whatever we want to call it, and hand out a trash bag with like our information. We're promoting the open house. Here's a trash bag. It costs nothing. Can you go through your closet, come and drop the clothes off at this open house between this time or that? And it was really successful. I know 2 realtors that did that. So I've always wanted to do that. I haven't really taken the time, to be honest, but it's something that you can get and to promote with brokerages, and I can help you do that if you want. And like I said, it's a quick way for them to touch base, get in front of the neighbors and get the neighbors to come to the open house. I do also, I do have a 360. So I'm willing to promote that. If you need any help with, like, if you have events or anything like that, let me know.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know what that is.
Cool. Easy. They attract people. So, I mean, I don't know, just get with me if you need anything I'm here in San Antonio.
How exciting that we watch this network going on in front of us. It's so cool.
No, but we appreciate everybody.
Thank
We
you
appreciate
guys
everybody
so
checking in. Thank you, Sarah, for giving up your time and taking time out of your busy schedule and hanging out with us today. And God bless you. And looking forward to seeing you on our show. And anytime you want to come in and talk about anything you got going on, any event you got going on, and anything you got going on, just let us know. Don't hesitate to give any one of us a call. And we're here for you. We got your back. And don't ever hesitate. All right, we got you. Anything else you got for us, Sarah?
I wanted to tell Sarah also, just hit me up, Gigi La Chicana Guerrero. Any thing you've got going on, you can just, while during an interview, I'll say, by the way, we have a special guest. She got something going on. Give you a few minutes to say that and just kind of plug it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. It was
All
so
right.
nice
Awesome.
to meet y'all. This was fun.
Yes,
God bless you, Sarah. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Wow, Trisha, Gigi, what an awesome female, right? She's got so much tied up underneath her belt, right? I mean, she's got so much, going on in the community in San Antonio, man. I mean, the thing is, she's doing so much. I mean, you know, and it's not easy to do all the stuff that she's doing. You know, I mean, you just heard her. You know, how hot is it in San Antonio? You know, in the summertime.
It's pretty hot. It gets pretty humid.
No
Yeah.
AC, no AC.
Oh man.
And she's out there donating her time, you know, putting out all these functions, these donations for the community, you know,
That's
doing
a special
all
kind
these
of lady. It
functions,
really is. Yeah,
getting
that
all
is.
these drives, you know, doing all this stuff for the community. And you know, and she's not expecting anything from anybody, you know. Just you know, a little donation here from people, you know, and I think that's what it takes, you know, $5 here, $2 here is what it takes from other people. Um, but you know, she's striving to reach her goals, putting in the work, of what she's doing, you know, for the community is what really thrives me, is what really caught me is um when I seen her the last time on the show, is what really caught me is like, hey, I gotta have her on the show. And
How did you find her?
we had she was on we had her they were at another event, and so I was like, okay, well, we gotta have her on the show. And I kind of looked her up and did some research, and Hen Dog is always in research, man. And I'm always trying to like find network to the tools. And I'm always just doing research, man, and just trying to get people to the show, and trying to bring, you know, just trying to help out people. That's just what I try to do, is, you know, just bring different guests, and, you know, just try to help people out, you know, um, different guests. And I mean, who would have known I would have had Gigi on our podcast as a host? You know, she started following our show, and one day I just said, "Hey, would you like to be a guest host?" And all of a sudden, she's a host.
That is awesome.
But yeah, so but yeah, I found Sarah Lucy, and I just seen something, you know. Well, my thing is, I started following her page, and then I started following, you know, all her you know, some of the acting stuff that she's doing, you know, with the King of the South, and I'm like, wow, she's going to be an actor, which is cool. And then I started following her nonprofit stuff, and then she started accepting into the groups, and so I started following those pages, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty interesting. And things like that, you know, when somebody puts in the work to do stuff like that, it's really interesting, because not a lot of people put in the time. I mean, it's just like us as hosts that put in the time to do our shows. We don't get paid for none of this, and that's what people don't understand. Like, we take a time to put on a show for an hour and 15 minutes for free, and we don't get paid. I mean, look, we're drinking Powerades. I know Trisha was drinking a nice poly multi-million-dollar drink over there.
It's just a beer.
I mean,
I do it for the salt.
that costs is right. But you know, we all do this, you know, for donations, man. Eventually we're going to start making money. All right. So sponsorships, ladies and gentlemen, you want to get a sponsor, you want to be a sponsor on the New Mexico Radio Talk Show, talk to one of our team members. We'll advertise you guys on our Facebooks, and especially right here on the New Mexico Radio Talk Show. Talk to one of our team members. We'll be advertising you guys. Big shout out to La Reina. One of my artists is in La Casa. We got La Jolla Promotions in La Casa. She's very ill. I know she's a little underneath the weather. I know Gigi's under the weather. We got Joe Zimmerly in La Casa. I gotta put a joke out there. Prenda la vela, bro. We got Ramon Peña. We also got Albert Cedillo in La Casa. We got Lydia Flores in La Casa. We got Johnny Riojas in La Casa, man. I do want to say thank you to everybody checking in. But yeah, ladies, what do you think about this Sarah Lucy? What's y'all's intake on Sarah Lucy?
Go ahead, Trisha.
Okay. I think she's amazing to be giving so much of herself on top of trying. I mean, I have one girl That's hard, but she's gonna be selfless and just give so much of herself back to the community on top of going through whatever she's going through. Like, wow, it just really says a lot about the person that she is. I think I know everything she's putting out, she's going to get back in abundance. Like there's no doubt, you know, and she still keeps that smile on her face and a positive attitude, and that she puts one foot in front of the other. You know, it's just like, it's wow, it's inspiring, and we need more. She humbled me, I would say that. So.
She's very inspiring. She's so inspiring, you know, because sometimes you think, you know, that would be nice if I did that. That would be nice that would be nice to do. But she's actually doing it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Like I'm telling you, I was like, I have these thoughts like, oh, well, these grandparents need support, but I'm not doing anything out there to get them the support or
Exactly.
just even like, and I'm thinking my mind, I'm like, okay, you know what? I know a lot of people, there's a community of realtors where this like, I need to get her in front of, we do trainings all week. It's ridiculous how many trainings and opportunity there is to just make that outreach. I mean, whatever. I'm going to blast her on my page. People are going to get tired of her. So I love it.
Look at this right here, man. We got a good comment from our good friend Johnny Rioja. It says, hello, Gigi La Chicana Guerrero blessings. And then we got right here, hello, amigo, Henry Canaladia, you're great. And then we got another one right here from our YouTube follower, Bobby Casaneda says, I really appreciate what you all do for our Onda. I can see that you are passionate about the music. Yeah, yes, sir. Bobby Casaneda all the way from our YouTube page right there, man. And then he says, Johnny Rija says, hello, Trisha Victoria. Yeah, we do want to say thank you to all our followers, man, all over the globe, man. We're on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Roku TV. Shout out to all our proud sponsors, man. I do want to say thank y'all to our people out there, man. God bless you guys so much, man. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We do got interviews tomorrow, man. We got 2 interviews tomorrow. A la máquina, double booked. 2 interviews a la Modis. Yikes. Pinchy hen dog, man. I'm so busy, man, being a promoter. I double booked 2 interviews tomorrow. And I'm gonna do one early. And then I'm gonna do one at the regular time tomorrow. So we got Ricky G5 tomorrow, man, with the brand new hit single coming in tomorrow. And then we got Aisha Aparacio, man, backup singer with Jay Perez. A la máquina. Did I say Jay Perez? A la máquina. One day we're gonna have Jay Perez on the show with his lovely wife Roxy Perez on the show, man. We're gonna have both of them on the show one day, man. And then we're gonna have Eli Darena on the show eventually, man. We got a lot of great interviews coming up. I got Christina Rodriguez, man. She's a famous person, man. She's very, very famous. No, just kidding. We got her on Thursday, man. We got a lot of great artists coming up, great guests. We got a lot of great shows. We got Domingo Elias Tercero coming back on the show with a brand new single, brand new song. We got a lot of great music coming up for you guys. Ladies, any last words, any last things for our fans out there that you guys like to say before we head out?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Hendog, for this opportunity. I'm so glad I got to meet Trisha. So glad I got to know Sarah. And just happy to be here. Blessings to everybody. Que todos se cuiden. And we'll see you next time.
God bless you guys. Good night. Hasta la vista. See you guys mañana. God bless.
Good night. Good night.
Next week.